Hello and welcome to the news from Bahrain International. I'm Sarah Al-Break. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, accompanied by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, today attended the coronation ceremony of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and head of the Commonwealth, held at Westminster Abbey Church here. His Majesty the King participated in the ceremony at the invitation of His Majesty King Charles III. His Majesty King Hamad congratulated His Majesty King Charles III on the occasion, wishing him abundant health, happiness and continued success in leading the United Kingdom towards more progress, as well as in consolidating its pioneering role and the prestigious status it enjoys at the international level thanks to the leadership of the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. His Majesty the King affirmed that his participation in the coronation ceremony embodies the solid, deep-rooted relations between the two friendly royal families and countries, as well as the distinction of their strategic ties and robust partnership that extend for more than 200 years of bilateral coordination, fruitful cooperation and constructive joint work in various fields. His Majesty King Hamad underlined his determination to continue working with His Majesty King Charles III to further strengthen the distinguished relations between the two friendly kingdoms in order to serve their interests and achieve the aspirations of their people. His Majesty King Charles III expressed thanks to His Majesty King Hamad for attending the ceremony, appreciating His Majesty's congratulations and noble sentiments that embody the strength of relations between the two friendly kingdoms. His Majesty King Charles III wished His Majesty King Hamad abundant health and wellness and the people of Bahrain further progress and prosperity. It is worth noting that the kingdom has participated in several similar events. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, participated in the enthronement ceremonies of His Majesty King William Alexander of the Netherlands in Amsterdam and His Majesty Emperor Naruhito of Japan in Tokyo. His Majesty the King's personal representative, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, also attended the inauguration ceremony of President Alexander Vučić of Serbia. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, accompanied by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, attended these reception held on the occasion of the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, held at Buckingham Palace in the presence of their Majesties and Excellencies, heads of delegations and royal families. His Majesty exchanged cordial conversations with King Charles III about the depth of the close historical relations between the two royal families and the two friendly countries, and the continuous development and growth of the two kingdoms' long-standing relations in various fields. He expressed pride in the role of King Charles in consolidating the prosperous relations of the two countries for the good and benefit of their two friendly people, wishing His Majesty good health and happiness to continue leading the path of progress, development and growth. His Majesty affirmed pride in the historical relations and close partnership between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the friendly United Kingdom, which extends for many years and are based on solid foundations and solid pillars, as well as the strong friendship and mutual appreciation that binds the two people, expressing Bahrain's aspirations to enhance and develop these strategic relations and develop areas of cooperation, coordination and joint action in a way that serves mutual goals and interests. For his part, His Majesty the King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland expressed his thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King, appreciating His Majesty's great role in consolidating the foundations of distinguished bilateral relations and raising the level of close historical cooperation with the United Kingdom. Earlier in the day, the coronation of King Charles III to the throne of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland kicked off. The official coronation ceremony began when King Charles and his wife Camilla arrived at Westminster Abbey in the Diamond Jubilee carriage from Buckingham Palace. The King also swore an oath to rule with justice and to look after the Church of England before the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, put holy oil on his hands, head and chest. Then the Archbishop placed St. Edward's crown on King Charles's head. After that, the Crown Prince and heir to the throne, Prince William, saluted his father, the King, pledging allegiance to him. The Archbishop then called upon all those present in the church and throughout the country to swear allegiance to King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland took over the royal symbols that indicate authority, and assuming the responsibilities of government are the sword, the ring, the glove, the scepter and the golden ball, which weighs 1,320 grams and is made of pure gold, and it was manufactured in 1661 AD. These royal symbols carry historical connotations in the legacy of the royal family and denote wisdom, authority and justice. Then His Majesty King Charles III of Britain was crowned with St. Edward's crown, and it is the first crown worn by the King during his coronation ceremony. This unique crown, made of gold, is returned to its place of preservation in the Tower of London, awaiting the coronation of the next king. Named after St. Edward the Confessor, versions of it have traditionally been used to crown English and British monarchs at their coronations since the 13th century. The original crown was a holy relic kept at Westminster Abbey, Edward's burial place, until the regalia were either sold or melted down when Parliament abolished the monarchy in 1649 during the English Civil War. The current St. Edward's crown was made for Charles II in 1661. It is solid gold, 30 centimeters tall, weighs 2.23 kilograms, and is decorated with 444 precious and fine gemstones. The crown is similar in weight and overall appearance to the original, but its arches are Baroque. After 1689, it was not used to crown any monarch for over 200 years. In 1911, the tradition was revived by George V and has continued ever since. In 1953, Elizabeth II opted for a stylized image of this crown to be used on coats or arms and other insignia in Commonwealth realms to symbolize her royal authority. The Gold State coach is an enclosed 8-horse-drawn carriage used by the British royal family, commissioned in 1760 by Francis Rawdon Hastings, first Marquis of Hastings for King George III, and designed by Sir William Chambers. It was built in the London workshops of Samuel Butler. This coach has been used at the coronation of every British monarch since William IV through Charles III. The coach weighs 4 tons and is 29 feet long and 12 feet high. It is gilded and features painted panels by Giovanni Battista Cipriani and rich gilded sculpture. The carvings give the gold coach the air of a triumphant chariot, reflecting Britain's powerful position in the world at the time. The Gold State coach is pulled by a team of 8 horses wearing the red Morocco harness. Originally driven by a coachman, the 8 horses are now postilions ridden in 4 pairs. Kings, presidents and leaders flocked to London to attend the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and head of the Commonwealth. About 100 country leaders and dignitaries attended the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III, among whom were leaders of Arab countries as well as countries of the EU. The First Lady of the United States attended on behalf of the American president, while on behalf of the Chinese president, his deputy attended. The UK also invited North Korea's ambassador to the UK to attend the coronation ceremony. The life of King Charles III of the United Kingdom is full of many important stations that contributed to the formation of his personality. The following report reviews the most prominent stations in the life of King Charles III from his birth until he came to power. His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom and the Kingdom of Bahrain enjoy historical and solid relations that were strengthened by several visits that His Majesty paid to the Kingdom of Bahrain, during which the closeness and depth of relations between the two royal families of the two friendly countries were emphasized. In a special interview to Bahrain Television, the ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to London, Sheikh Fawaz bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, affirmed the exceptional historic relations binding Bahrain and the United Kingdom, which continues to develop and grow thanks to the keenness of both leaderships.
طبعا قادة البلدين لهم دور كبير في توطيد هذه العلاقة المتميزة بين البلدين. فشفنا أن الملك جورج عندما تم حفل تنصيبه دعا آنذاك الشيخ حمد بن عيسى في 1936 ولبى الدعوة، ولكن لظروف السفر وظروف المسافة بين البلدين آنذاك لم يقدر يوصل في لوقت فقدم رسالة اعتذار، ولكن حضر إلى بريطانيا بعد أشهر من الحفل الكورنيشن للملك جورج، وكان في هناك تقدير كبير لحضوره كأول زعيم خليجي يحضر الكورنيشن للملك جورج. أيضا في 53 تم دعوة صاحب العظمة الشيخ سلمان بن حمد لحفل التنصيب وحضر في سنة 53. والآن نشوف أن الملك تشارلز بعلاقته الشخصية خلال العقود الماضية مع جلالة الملك، فجلالة الملك لبى هذه الدعوة وحضوره هذا الأسبوع تقديرا لهذه العلاقة المتميزة الشخصية بين العاهلين. لا شك أن هذه العلاقة المتميزة التي تمتد أكثر من 200 عام تمر بأحسن حالات، وهذه العلاقة الممتدة خلال هذه العقود لا شك أنها تطورت تطورا كبير مع مرور الزمن. فابتداء يمكن علاقة تجارية وثم علاقة سلام بين البلدين. لا شك أن أهل البحرين يمنون بكثير من الاحترام والتقدير للشعب البريطاني والحكومة البريطانية والقيادة البريطانية لما لمسوه خلال العقود من الزمن من التعايش مع الشعب البريطاني. كثير من أهالي البحرين درسوا في بريطانيا وعاشوا في بريطانيا، فهذه العلاقة خاصة ومتميزة، يستفيد مواطنين البلدين من هذه العلاقة المتميزة. ففي هناك تقريبا 33 اتفاقية تعاون بين البلدين. طبعا مواطنين مملكة البحرين الآن أصبحوا يدخلون بريطانيا بدون فيزا، والفيزا الإلكترونية ومن السنة القادمة سوف تسهل أكثر وبيكون في هناك الفيزا ويفر، فتسهيلات كبيرة لمواطنين مملكة البحرين لدخول بريطانيا وأيضا في الاستثمار والعيش فيها والتعليم فيها.
Following the enthronement of His Majesty King Charles III, Bahraini-UK relations continue to be distinguished in various fields based on a long historical legacy of distinguished friendship and close ties between the two countries.
The Kingdom of Bahrain and His Majesty King Charles III are linked through many situations that confirm his pride in Bahrain's status. Bahrain has been a major destination in King Charles' foreign visits to Gulf and Arab countries since he was Crown Prince, and his visits to Bahrain in particular witnessed many official meetings and tours with His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, which reflected the close historical ties and distinguished relations between the two kingdoms. The first visit of His Majesty King Charles III to the Kingdom of Bahrain was in 1979, accompanied by his mother, followed by visits in 1986 and 2007. As for his visit to Bahrain in 2016, he was accompanied by his wife Queen Camilla. The visit included many meetings and events that highlighted the strong and distinguished relations between the two kingdoms, and was a special event as it witnessed the celebration of the 200th anniversary of Bahrain-UK relations. During the visit, which lasted for several days, high-level talks were held between His Majesty the King and King Charles III on strengthening the foundations of bilateral cooperation and discussing the challenges facing the region. During his continuous visits to the kingdom, King Charles III has always expressed admiration for the level of civilizational development in Bahrain, the civilizational dimensions that characterize the Bahraini society based on coexistence and fraternity, its long-standing heritage, and the efforts it exerts in maintaining security and peace in the world.
Bilateral friendship relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom dates back to hundreds of years that witnessed mutual visits between two friendly countries. More in this report.
Deep historical relations linking the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom which have been strengthened in the modern era, of the volume of mutual visits between senior officials of the two kingdoms, which reflects the nature of the friendly and historical relations existing between the two friendly countries and peoples, and the firm desire to strengthen cooperation and interdependence between the two kingdoms. The relations have developed clearly according to the insightful vision of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, and one of the most prominent examples was the mutual visits between the two kingdoms, which gave the relations between them a positive monument that strengthened the close relations that bind them at all levels. The visit of Queen Elizabeth II to the Kingdom of Bahrain was the first of the exchanged visits between the two friendly countries, followed by several visits by King Charles III to the kingdom, which were met by successive visits by His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa to the United Kingdom. The Bahraini-British bilateral friendship relations have grown and strengthened in a distinguished way, not only at the official level, but they have enjoyed continuation of the bonds of friendship and rapprochement between the two royal families, which contributed to enhancing the level of understanding and high coordination between the leaderships of the two countries.
A long historical legacy of distinguished friendship and close ties between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom. The strong and unique relations between the two kingdoms spanned over 200 years and were based on mutual respect and appreciation between the leaders throughout history, reinforced by the interdependence and interest of the two royal families in bolstering cooperation and understanding in various fields. The leaders of the two friendly countries expressed a sincere desire to deepen the historical friendship confirmed by the two royal families through mutual official and friendly visits, which are recorded in the history of the two countries as a long-standing legacy of strategic relations. Those relations began over 2 centuries ago with the visits of many of their majesties, the kings of the United Kingdom, to Bahrain, and relations grew significantly during the reign of the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who visited Bahrain for the first time in 1979 during the reign of the late Sheikh Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa. The two friendly royal families' continuous pride and appreciation reflect the depth of historical relations and close ties, which confirms the keenness of the two kingdoms to develop and consolidate these relations at all levels in a manner that achieves the common interests and benefits both countries and people.
Tremendous efforts are exerted to further strengthen cooperation and joint action between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom through exchanging legislative expertise and experiences, opening up new areas of bilateral action and discussing ways to enhance the deep-rooted bilateral relations. Considering the historical event taking place today, Shura Council member Ms. Nancy Khoudouri gave us the statement on this remarkable day.
I take the opportunity to congratulate King Charles III on the spectacular occasion of his crowning ceremony, and to the British royal family and nation. King Charles III has all the qualities of a benevolent leader, such as integrity, self-awareness, courage, respect, empathy, gratitude, and above all, just like his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, dedication to serve others. May His Majesty's reign be marked by peace and prosperity, with God's guidance and direction to inspire His people. King Charles III is wished every success in meeting whatever challenges may come along the way in fulfilling the aspirations of the British people. And I take the opportunity to share a quote from his inspirational quote. I find myself born into this particular position. I am determined to make the most of it and to do whatever I can to help. And I hope I leave things behind a little bit better than I found them. Heartfelt thanks and appreciation is extended to His Excellency Ambassador Roddy Drummond, his wife Yasmin, the entire team at the embassy, as well as to the Bahrain British Business Forum and to the British Club of Bahrain and all the respective affiliate clubs in the country, for hosting many enjoyable events to mark this historic occasion of the King's coronation weekend. Long live the King.
The British ambassador to Bahrain, Mr. Roderick Drummond, highlighted the long-standing bilateral relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom. He expressed happiness at the development that both kingdoms have witnessed in terms of cooperation and coordination.
Well, I mean, I think relations are in a really fantastic place. So yes, they go back 200 years, but the really exciting thing for me is that we continue to refresh those relationships and make them relevant to the people today, people in Bahrain, people in the United Kingdom. And I think we see that in all areas of our cooperation, that things are proceeding forward. So of course it goes back to the first treaties signed between Bahrain and the United Kingdom back in the early 19th century. We celebrated the 200th anniversary in 2016 with many events, and I think that relationship became steadily closer in the 20th century, and I'm very glad to see that the United Kingdom played a strong part in helping Bahrain modernize itself in the early 20th century, and we stayed and remain today very close, cooperating as two sovereign states, freely and equally, and being able to help each other in lots of different ways.
Local press, radio and television joined British media in covering the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and head of the Commonwealth. Bahrain Television broadcasted hours of live coverage of the event in English and Arabic and presented a package of programs which hosted guests and displayed reports focused on the strength of Bahrain-UK relations as well as the stages of the coronation ceremony of His Majesty King Charles III. Local papers have had extensive coverage across its pages to highlight the once in a generation event. Landmarks across Bahrain lit up in red and blue in celebration of the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and head of the Commonwealth. The move reflects the deep depth of the long-standing friendly relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom, which extends for over 200 years. The coronation ceremony of His Majesty King Charles III has concluded. However, let's take a look at the immense efforts and preparations that went into this extravagant event as royal workers began preparing the various coaches which will carry the King and the Queen to Westminster Abbey. More in this report.
As the countdown to King Charles III's coronation on May 6 gets underway, royal workers are preparing the various opulent coaches which will carry the King from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. 2 coaches will be used during the day's events: the Diamond Jubilee State Coach, which will take the King and the Queen to Westminster Abbey in the morning, and the Gold State Coach, which will carry the royals to Buckingham Palace following the coronation ceremony in an official procession.
So this coach beside me will be a key part of the procession going from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. It's the Diamond Jubilee State Coach, the newest coach in the Royal Mews here at Buckingham Palace.
The older Gold State Coach has its own qualities.
This coach will be the centrepiece of the much larger and longer procession from Westminster Abbey back to Buckingham Palace on Coronation Day. The coach is huge, you might be able to tell that from how I'm standing beside it. It's nearly 4 metres tall, it's over 7 metres long, it weighs 4 tonnes. Because of that, it can only be used at a walking pace, which really adds to the majesty and the stateliness of this great royal procession.
The Gold State Coach, which weighs 8,800 pounds, 4,000 kilograms, and is pulled by 8 horses, is known for its notoriously rough ride.
So on the day I will be taking the King to obviously Westminster Abbey and returning, but I'll be the wheel postilion for both of those occasions, as well as making sure that everything is correct before we move off here. So everything gets put to the carriages. I do my inspection before the Crown of Quarry does to make sure that everything is to the correct and safety standard as it should be leaving this place. Then I'll get on my wheelers and off we go and produce the job safely. So we've got 8 horses which will be strapped to the gold coach, 4 postilions and walking grooms all the way around, and we're all there to make sure that the King gets there safely and returns safely.
The gilded coach's slow pace should provide more time for people along the route to see the newly crowned King and Queen. Each coach has been used relatively recently in Jubilee celebrations for the late Queen, and both are maintained regularly by people working for the royal household. The destination for the Diamond Jubilee State Coach is Westminster Abbey, the venue for the coronation of King Charles III and Camilla. The building is steeped in royal tradition and history. The Royal Mint, the official maker of British coins, has revealed its new range of commemorative coins. The 50p and £5 coins feature the first crown portrait of Charles to celebrate his upcoming coronation.
The coronation ceremony, which took place earlier today, is close to the hearts of the British people. British superfans expressed their love and support to the royalty with massive decorations. More in this report.
One of the UK's most passionate royal superfans is gearing up for Coronation Day celebrations. 79-year-old Margaret Tyler missed the last coronation of Queen Elizabeth II because her family didn't have a television. So, she's planning to enjoy the royal celebration of a lifetime. She is a royal superfan who has been obsessed with all things royal throughout her life. Over the years, she has met many members of the royal family, including Queen Elizabeth II and Diana, Princess of Wales. But her interest in royalty doesn't end there. Over the years, Margaret has amassed a vast collection of the memorabilia, so large it fills at least 4 rooms of her detached London home.
For Coronation Day, which I'm really looking forward to, I'm going to get comfy on here. I'm going to have many cups of tea during the whole time. It's in a way it's easier than going down the West End, because down there you're pushed about so much that then you've got to get home, and that's not easy. So I really look forward to getting comfortable here and drinking my tea, have a sandwich now and then. I don't take my eyes off it. I won't speak to anybody. If the phone went, I probably wouldn't answer it.
With the coronation of King Charles III, Margaret is getting ready for a royal occasion like no other, and already has her special King Charles coronation flag on display in her living room. Margaret has watched Charles grow up and even traveled to Wales in 1969 to attend his investiture as Prince of Wales.
I'm so happy that I'm seeing this coronation. I mean, that is the highlight, isn't it? That is amazing. The work that must have gone into it by all their people. They do say that Charles hasn't got enough people at the moment to help him, so perhaps we should all go and knock on the door. But it's a big thing, but I think it's fantastic. Whether or not I'll ever be alive when the other next ones are going to be there, I don't know.
Margaret's house is a shrine to all things royal, and her collection keeps growing. She is well known in the royal memorabilia collection circles and is constantly being offered new pieces.